Hello friends, I welcome you in the tutorial describing how to conduct a conference classroom session. By using smart classrooms to teach, we can have teaching more comprehensive and students friendly. I would suggest you that you should go for practice session before actually taking classes in smart classrooms. I also encourage you for taking more and more classes in smart classrooms, and I also wish you happy teaching with smart classrooms. Thank you.
Hello viewers, I welcome you all to the part 2 of 3-part series of tutorials describing the operation of a smart classroom. In part 1, I told you about the various electronic devices used in the classroom and how to conduct a class using these devices. In this tutorial, I am going to tell you how to conduct a conference classroom session using this facility. In part 1, I have discussed 3 broad utilities of a smart classroom. Let me recall those for you. A. To teach, that is to give lectures. B. White screen as board. C. To conduct conference classroom session. From these 3 points, we have discussed point A and point B in part 1. In this episode, today we will discuss point C. Let us discuss how to conduct a conference classroom session within a campus. Let us say one fine day you have a large number of students to accommodate in a single class. So you use all the smart classrooms to make them sit. Now you have to choose one classroom as master classroom. Master classroom is the one from which you will deliver your talk, while the students sitting in their respective classes will listen you, interact with you with the help of operators. It sounds little bit complicated. Let me make it clear for you. Suppose this is your master class from where you are speaking, while the other classes are for students who can see and interact with you while they are present in these classrooms. While the master class is operated by you, for smooth functioning, you have to assign operators for each of the student classroom. These operators can be your colleagues. You can choose classes as required from the available smart classes in your institute. One can even choose studio facility as master classroom. Now let us have a look to the necessary setup you and operators have to do and to check the audio video connectivity among the classrooms before the students gather. The first step is to pull down the white screen and open the podium lock. UPS is programmed to be switched on during office hours, but for any reason if you find it is not on, please do the same before you start anything. Switch on the computer, switch on the control module. Once you switch on the control module, the speakers and room module will start automatically. Switch on the projector using remote. Now open the front shelf of the podium and take out the camera and put it on its specified position on top of the podium. For moderator's classroom, the camera will face moderator, while in the other classroom, the camera will face the viewers. You can operate the camera with the help of the remote provided with it. Transfer your content, images or PowerPoint onto the computer in moderator's classroom. Take out the microphone from its charging unit. Press and hold this button here to switch it on. Teacher has to mount the mic like this or like this onto himself to have the mobile access, while the microphone in the student classes will be put on hold and will be used only at the time of interactive session. Now to connect all the smart classes, start a view setup in all the classes. You can do this by clicking this icon on the computer of your classroom. This is the AView screen which the moderator and operators will see the moment they do a login into AView. Here you will see moderator's video, while here you will see video from student's classroom. This is the user list. This is user 1, that is moderator. Rest are the student's classroom. How to reach this screen? Well, for that there are few settings to be done which will be described in detail in part 3. So, to understand AView operation, please watch part 3 of this series. After logging into AView, most important thing is to do a audio video connectivity check among all the classrooms. For this, all the operators and the moderator need to be present in their individual classes and have to check for incoming and outgoing audio and video. Now your setup is ready to call the students and viewers. Now in this setup, the speaker will talk from the master class, while the viewers will listen and interact with the speaker with the help of operators available in each of the class. Once the teacher finished with the talk, he can open session for Q&A and connect the student classrooms one by one to interact with him. It is advised to go for one student classroom at a time to avoid confusion. Let us take an example. Assume one of the viewer from class 2 and one viewer from class 4 is trying to reach you. In that case, you see a red question mark sign in front of the users within the AView interface. This shows that someone there is posing a question for you. To listen or to interact with the viewer, moderator have to select that user from here and click on Start Interaction with User. The moment you do this, you can see the viewer's video on your screen, and thus you can listen to and answer his query, which will be simultaneously multicasted in other classrooms as well. Now suppose you are done with the interaction in this classroom and you want to move to other classroom, let's say classroom number 4, for which you are seeing the question mark here. To do so, you have to first end your interaction with previous user, here in this case class 2. To end the interaction, you have to click on Stop Interaction with User and have to join the other user by selecting it and by clicking on Start Interaction with User for class 4. In this way, you select or deselect users from the list one by one to interact with them. The number of users will be equal to the number of student classrooms. I believe you have understood the operations by far. Now let us have a look at the functioning of operator in the student classroom, that is, how they are going to message the moderator that they are having a question. Well, you know, the operators have to do the necessary setup as described earlier and to check the audio video connectivity with the master classroom before the moderator start giving his talk. After the talk is finished, to put questions forward from the crowd, operator has to do a small function called hand raise. Let us see how to do that. To hand raise, if you see on the AView screen here, you will see a hand raise button below the user's window. Once you click on this button, moderator will see a question mark in front of your username, and so moderator will establish a connection as described earlier. Operators has to carefully switch on and pass the microphone to the person in crowd. For proper audio connection, it is very essential. If not spoken on the microphone, the audio will not reach the moderator. Once the moderator start the Q&A session, operators are advised to do the hand raise and wait for their turn. With this, we finish the topic of conducting conference class within campus. Let us see another situation when somebody outside connect with us for a session. To connect with the outstation entity, the other party should have a setup compatible to the setup we are having in RIE. These parties can be CIT New Delhi or any other RIE. Among them, anyone can become moderator while others can be viewers or students. The entire procedure for this will be similar as described earlier. Our operations will depend on if we are a moderator or a viewer. During conference session with outstation entities, the party who is playing the role of moderator has to distribute AView username and password to other parties. So what are these username and password? We will know about them in part 3. So please watch part 3 to understand the basic operation of AView, because AView plays a major role in establishing audio-video connectivity among parties. Till then, goodbye.